right, y'all. Welcome. Will be to another one of these me mixing a song live here on YouTube. So we got a hip hop track from an artist named Just Money, and I believe I recorded this session. This is really a few years old, so I don't remember the mic and everything that was used on it. But recording's pretty good. It's gonna give us a chance to really do some attention to detail mixing on the vocal here, and we'll listen to it in just a second. But this is a kind of small session. Since we've been getting this crackling out of my computer the longer we go, I'm going to try to make this one a little bit shorter and do a smaller session. So let's jump over into Studio One and take a look at it. Okay, so we've got, see, kick, snare, hi-hats, drum roll, bass, strings, and piano. So first thing we'll start here is that you notice I split these pianos out into left and right just to make a, before I think it was stereo, but it was mono, so it was still coming up the middle even though it was stereo. So I split these out into left and right, and I'm going to manipulate them a little differently to make sure we get a stereo sound out of them. And we just got, so this is just one long rap verse. I think this was the intro to his album, but I muted this in the middle here so we can kind of make it like a first verse, second verse type thing. But let's go ahead and play it so y'all can hear it, and then we will get started.
It's funny, I was that the whole time. Yeah. As fresh as I ever been, you're not the hero, so you must be the heroine. Yeah, I'm super dope, about as dope as heroin or a prescription drug. So sick that I forgot what my prescriptions was. There was so many rappers that thought they were better than me, there was so many. But they all fell short, yet considered the source. After all, why would I consider a loss when there's no need? Why give back when there's no feed? Like my ribs don't touch, like you can cut one of my veins and I won't bleed much. That is such BS. Sincerely yours, JUSPS. This is where the love ends, I guess. But how could the love end in such a mess when I'm more of a romantic that tries to do away with all the dramatics? I admit my words and actions can be sporadic, added up, but it don't take mathematics to know I'm fresh as I ever been. You're not the doctor, so you must be patient when you're sitting in the waiting room like a car bomb waits for the boom. Turn the key, the ignition, then boom, the car blows up. When the people start bitching and they'll all hoe up and start pointing fingers. Beware of idiocracy, cause jealous hearts linger. As fresh as I ever been, I'ma stay sick, so there's no need for medicine. No more Seroquel, no more Ativan. Oh snap, I remembered. Yes, I remember that I'm a monster that was created by ridicule. Figure I stick around till I'm paid residuals. I'm tired of weighing it out, and I'm sick of paying dues. By whose dues do I have to keep paying? And by whose rules do I have to keep playing? I mean, aren't I my own man? Think for myself, draw up my own plan. Not having to follow in someone else's and be limited to the meager successes. I prefer to be limitless. You can keep the fame and the fortune I'll get and spread it amongst those deemed worthy. I'm old school like James Worthy, dishing the rock to Magic Johnson for 3. Don't you see, he's fresh, fresh, I'm so fresh. What's the name of this album?
The Apologia.
Yeah.
Okay, so there's a track we'll be dealing with today. So what I heard, let's start with the vocal. So the vocal sounds pretty good. I want to try to get a little more clarity out of it. I'm really happy with the S's. The S's aren't poking out and they're really smooth. So the top end is really well done. Just the low mid is, it sounds just a little muddy. And overall, I think it sounds just a little dark, but for this track, I think it's fine. Like, I don't really want a bright rap vocal, especially for this. So I don't think we're going to add, if any, much high end to it, but I definitely in the low mids, and I feel like it could use a little more low mids. I'm kind of, I feel like it can add some low mids, but I also don't want to make it even more muddy. Though it's not really muddy, it's going to be tricky. I'm gonna have to think of how I want to address that there. There's a crackling going on that I'm hearing, and I believe it's from the piano track. Let me see. Yeah, so there's like, I guess like a vinyl crackle effect that's really bugging me. I'm gonna try to get rid of that. And no, that's really it. The strings, that's fine. The bass I didn't really hear in that, so we're definitely gonna kick this bass up and make this hit. And let's see. And the drums, we're definitely going to try to get these drums to punch through some more. Okay. All right, so we're going to start with the drum. Actually, what we'll start with is the console shaper, getting the console shaper on here and getting that going. I already have some mix bus compression set at using the fat channel, the brick compressor. I think I used this on the last one. We'll go ahead and use this one here again. And before we get too far into this, remember, if y'all want me to mix any of your tracks here live on YouTube, just send them to me. I'm going to have my email address and all the information in the description of this video. And any questions while I'm doing this, just drop it in the chat and I'll get to it. So let's start with the mix effects and the console shaper. We're going to use the C2, C1 and go ahead and start to put some color on everything just from the start before we touch anything. And so we got the classic, tube, custom. Classic is a British style console. It's going to kind of roll off the high ends. Tube is going to be bright, and custom to me is a mixture of both. It's going to add some low end and some top end. For this one, I feel like I want the custom, but this classic might be fine too. So let's start off by using the C2, C1 and find a color that we like for this mix.
It's funny, I was that the whole time. Yeah. As fresh as I ever been, you're not the hero, so you must be the heroine. Yeah, I'm super dope, about as dope as heroin or a prescription drug. So sick that I forgot what my prescriptions was. There was so many rappers that thought they were better than me. There was so many, but they all feel.
Okay, yeah, I do not like the tube on here. It's just too bright. So we're gonna choose between classic and custom, and I'm really listening to the drums on both of these and hearing how it's affecting that. And then I'm going to listen to the vocal and hear how it's affecting that.
It's funny, I was that the whole time. Yeah. As fresh as I ever been, you're not the hero, so you must be the heroine. Yeah, I'm super dope, about as dope as heroin or a prescription drug. So sick that I forgot what my prescriptions was. There was so many rappers that thought they were better than me. There was so many, but they all fell short, yet considered the source. After all, why would I consider a loss when there's no need? Why give back when there's no feed? Like my ribs don't touch, like you can cut one of my veins and I won't bleed much. That is such BS. Sincerely yours, JUSPS. This is where the love ends, I guess.
Okay, I'm gonna go with the classic. The custom is going a little too bright for me for this track, so we're gonna stick with the classic here. Okay, so let's move on to the drums. Let's see. So no, definitely, I'm not really hearing this. I'm gonna balance these drums really quick. I'm not really hearing this drum roll, so I'm gonna cut that up. So I'm gonna balance the drums, and then we'll start to see what effects we want to put on them. Yeah, Christopher Lindo. Yeah, I like the classic too. It's for this track. I think the classic works the best. The classic is warm and it rolls off the top. Like for this type of track, I don't need anything too bright. So yeah, I agree.
Yeah. As fresh as I ever been. Your
All right, I'm gonna go ahead and set up a bus for these drums, and we'll get some parallel compression going here. And actually, what I'm gonna use, so I just got this from Baby Audio. I haven't even used it yet, but they have a new plug-in parallel aggressor. So I think this would be a perfect opportunity to try to use this on. It's a really sweet looking plugin as well. But this, if you're familiar with their I Love or I Heart New York plugin, it's in a way it's that, but it's taken to another level here. Because we got the Spank, which comes from the I Heart New York. Okay, your dry level and the heat, which I'm assuming is some saturation. Oh, we can solo them too. Okay, this is nice. Yeah, we'll hold this here for a second. We'll definitely use that to get some parallel compression here. So let's see. As usual, I'm going to start with the drums and just find a nice loop here. Get that drum roll in it too. All right. We got All right, so what levels do I start all my tracks on? So I had the level meter up so you can see where my levels were. I'm normally on, when I start to mix, I try to start at anywhere from like -10, -6, anywhere in between there. And then as I'm mixing, I try to keep everything up to around maybe -3. But I try to start there maybe about -8, -10, somewhere in that range. John Black, what's up? So those are my levels start at. And this, you can see my faders are pulled down a little bit. I did have to pull these faders down a little to get it to that level. All right, we're going to try to add some low end to this kick. I'm really not hearing much in the drums I really want to change or I feel needs to be changed. Like they're already kind of punchy here already. But I'm going to, let's see, I like, so I know I've been using the fat channel on the drums. I'm trying to think of something else I like to use on drums here. I know that the Mog EQ2. I like this sub on kick drums. Let's see what this will do to this kick drum here. Okay, I'm liking that, but I forgot we got bass in here. I'm going to make sure, and I'm not really hearing it, so let's cut this up. And I just want to make sure that we've got a good balance going on between the kick and the bass here. Eddie Taylor, what's up? Okay, that's why I don't hear it. That's like a really low sub bass. So yeah, let's crank that up so we can hear it. Okay, I'm gonna put on the bass. Let's see. Waves Submarine should really help bring this out. Actually, I think I used this last time. Before I try that, let's go with the good old R bass and see if I can bring this bass out some more. Okay, I like that. That bass is really hitting now. It's not stepping on the kick at all because they're kind of not playing at the exact same time. A couple of the hits are, I think like two. That's not bad. I'm good with that. I didn't have to adjust anything on it. This is just the default setting on the R bass here, so we'll stick with that. So let's get back to the drums and let's see if there's anything I want to do to the snare. Okay, yeah, I'm just gonna try to get a little more crack out of the snare here. So I'm just gonna grab a Pro EQ and get some high mids going here. Corley said, would I bust together the subs? I wouldn't bust together the subs and the kicks just because that's two things that I want to treat differently or separately because the sub bass is more of a continuous sound and the kick is just a quick like transient hit. Like I don't want those. I'm not going to process those the same. So I wouldn't bust those together. Actually, for this snare, let's do On the fat channel, let's grab that API EQ since I like API EQs on drums. And I'll start with some 800K so we get a little more hit out of this snare. Okay, I'm good with that. We're just gonna pull it. I think it needs to be backed off just a little more. Okay, this hi-hat, I normally add high end to hi-hats, but I feel like I want to roll this off a little bit. So I'm gonna start there and see if I like what I'm getting. Okay, yeah, I'm liking that. This drum roll, it's gonna take some work. These first hits probably gonna put a lot of compression on it, but these first hits are low and it kind of builds up, which is, I get it, the point of it, but I feel like some of it gets lost in the track. So let's listen to this, and then I'm gonna probably try to add some compression to. I don't want to even it out to where all the hits are even, but I definitely want it to be more present in the track. And once it gets towards the end of it where it's louder, I don't want that to be too loud. So let's see what we can do to that. Okay, actually, the way the track breaks down when that drum roll hits, you can hear it. So I'm just going to add some compression to bring down the loud part on the end and kind of bring up the lower parts in the beginning. All right, I think I'm going to hit this with some EQ as well, just to bring up the low end on it. vocals back in for a second.
Yeah. As fresh as I ever been. You're not the hero, so you must be the heroine. Yeah, I'm super dope, about as dope as heroin or a prescription drug. So sick that I forgot what my prescriptions was. There was so many rappers that thought they were better than me. There was so many, but they all fell short.
Okay, I'm good with that. So let's mess with the. Oh, nope, that's not where that was supposed to go. Okay, put that on the. There. Okay. Yeah, let me make sure that sounds right.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, it's too much.
Yeah. As fresh as I.
Okay, I'm just gonna bring that fader down a few dB. Let's mess with this. Get that off of here, and let's see what we can do with the parallel compression on the drums here. So let's see. Okay, extra punch, extra smack, side chain, mono. Okay, very straightforward. Extra hot, tone, interesting. High pass, low pass. Okay. All right. So again, this is the parallel aggressor. This is brand new from Baby Audio. This will be my first time using it. And oh, nice. We have can change the look here. Okay, I guess that's. So we've got night, day. It's a little too bright for me. And in between. All right, we'll stick with in between for right now. But yeah, let's see what we can do with this on these drums.
Yeah.
Okay, so far I'm liking what these are doing to the drums, but I don't like what it's doing to that drum roll in there. So I'm gonna take that drum roll out of the bus. So it's just a kick, snare, and hi-hats. liking what this is doing to the drums. It's definitely adding some more punch, and it's not. Well, I don't have it up all the way, but it's not. It's not like overdoing it where it's like just like way too much. But there's really enough control here to get really exactly what you need. I'm gonna leave that there for doing to the drums. Actually, if y'all agree, let me know in the chat how y'all think this sounds on drums. Like I said, this is a brand new plug-in from Baby Audio. I'm gonna get kind of already did the bass, and I'm happy with where that is sitting. I kind of feel like it's a little too loud. I may pull it down as we go, but I think it's just me liking the fact that I can really hear the bass right now. But there's nothing else really in the mix that's competing with the bass, so the bass is really able to stand on its own down there in the low end. Well, the kick is down there too, but this is a like a sub bass, so it's even down there in the 30, 40 hertz down there as well. So I'm going to move on to these strings here. All right, I can already hear now. I'm going to throw a small delay on these strings. Okay, I'm happy with the delay, and I'm thinking, I normally add saturation to strings, but these aren't strings that really need to stand out so much, so I'm debating between that. I think I think they're good the way they are. This isn't strings that really needs to stand out, which saturation is going to help it cut through, but I really don't want these to cut through. I'm kind of happy with where they're kind of sitting. Matter of fact, I'm going to pull them back just a little more. Let's see. Okay. Hey, let's. Corey, is there a stock parallel compressor in Studio 1.5? So, yes. If you. What's that drum bus? So, I know just the stock compressor has this mix control. You can use that for parallel compression. For example, let's turn off what I have on there now, and let's kind of set this for some parallel compression. Let's give it a high ratio, a little quicker attack, a little shorter release, and with this mix knob, so with 100%, I'm hearing 100% of the compressed sound. But the more I dial this back, like at 50, now I'm getting 50% of the compressed signal and 50% of the uncompressed signal. So just to show that real quick. So of course here at 21%, we're getting 21% of the compressed signal in there. So any compressor in Studio One that has this mix knob, you can do parallel compression with. So I believe, I'm pretty sure, because I use the Tricomp on drums too, that the Tricomp has mix knob on it. Oh, where is it? Yeah, mix knob here. Yes, anyone that has a mix knob on it, you can use for parallel compression. The fat channel, I can't think off the top of my head, so let's take a quick look. Compressor, let's see. There's not one here. Yeah, so the fat channel ones, I don't think have them. Yeah, they don't. Okay. So yeah, compressor and Tricom. Yeah, with that mix, you can do parallel compression with that. Let's see. On the piano now, let me create a bus for that and see, we can get rid of this crackling, which I'm gonna use Isotopes RX7. They have a decrackle. Yep, here. All right, let's see if we can get rid of this crackling. And I understand the producer probably wanted that sound or whatever, but the crackling is just, it's getting on my nerves. So I'm gonna see what I can do about it. Let's see, why am I hearing the hi-hats here? It's weird. Okay. Okay, I don't know why I'm hearing the hi-hats here. I've been having some weird stuff happen with Studio One 5 so far, but I don't know if this is just me or just something I'm just not seeing. Let's see. All right, I'm gonna try this one more time. We'll even take off the solo safe on the delay. Okay, I guess the hi-hat is in the piano? That's what it seems. Nothing else is playing. That's weird. Okay. All right, I'm still gonna use this decrackle here. Okay, maybe the hi-hat was in there because it kind of sounds like a sample. So maybe the hi-hat was in there with the sample. That's the only explanation I have for that. But yeah, let's get back to this crackling. Okay, so yeah, that decrackle got rid of the crackling. I'm good with that. So let's just gonna kind of change my approach to these pianos if these hi-hats are in there. 'Cause I'm trying to keep this. No, I don't want it too bright, so I'm not gonna boost a lot of high end on it, which of course would bring out the hi-hats. But I'm gonna listen to this piano in the track for a little bit and see if there's anything that I feel needs to be done to it. Okay, I'm going to try to boost some high mids on it to have it cut through just a little bit. And I'm just hoping this hi-hat is not going to jump out too much with it. I feel like I kind of want to add some saturation on it as well. But let's start with some EQ. Okay, I'm good. That's not making it jump out too much, so that's good. I'm going to add some Waves vitamin here and just add some saturation. So the vitamin is like a multi-band saturation. I can add saturations to different frequency spectrums. So I'm going to add some in the low mids and I'm going to add a little in the high mids. so yeah, that's helping the piano cut through a little bit, and it's actually helping me start to hear things in the piano that I didn't hear before, like just boosting that little high mids, just the way kind of the keys are playing up there. Okay, so let's move on to the vocals. So let's see here. Y'all got any questions? Drop them in the track. Well, I'm dropping drop them in the chat. I'm gonna start the track back from the top and just loop it. I'm about to run get a bottle of water and loop from here to here. And I can start to get familiar with the vocal again, and then I'm gonna grab this water, be right back, and then we'll get started on the vocals.
It's funny, I was that the whole time. Yeah. As fresh as I ever been. You're not the hero, so you must be the heroine. Yeah, I'm super dope, about as dope as heroin or a prescription drug. So sick that I forgot what my prescriptions was. There was so many rappers that thought they were better than me. There was so many. But they all fell short, yet considered the source. After all, why would I consider a loss when there's no need? Why give back when there's no feed? Like my ribs don't touch, like you can cut one of my veins and I won't bleed much. That is such BS. Sincerely yours, JUSPS. This is where the love ends, I guess. But how could the love end in such a mess when I'm more of a romantic that tries to do away with all the dramatics? I admit my words and actions can be sporadic, added up, but it don't take mathematics to know I'm fresh as I ever been. You're not the doctor, so you must be patient when you're sitting in the waiting room like a car bomb waits for the boom. Turn the key, the ignition, then boom, the car blows up. When the people start bitching and the law ho up and start pointing fingers, beware of idiocracy, cause jealous hearts linger. It's funny, I was that the whole time. Yeah.
Okay, so these vocals, I'm going to mute the ad-libs for now. So, like I said to start, I'm good with the top end of it because the S's are smooth. Like a lot of vocals I get to mix, the S's are really harsh and we have to grab a de-esser. Don't have to do that with this one, so that's good. But I want to try to get a little more clarity out of the vocal down in the low mids. So thinking what I want to use to do that. So I'm gonna grab what's it called? Neutron Elements, which if you have a PreSonus interface and you have the Studio Magic Bundle, this comes in the Studio Magic Bundle, and I really like this on vocals. The other plugin I used on the kick, the Mog EQ2, that comes in the Studio Magic Bundle as well. So if you have the Studio Magic Bundle from PreSonus, which you get from getting a PreSonus interface, you get these plugins that come with it. Where's that? Okay, so, and what I really like about this EQ here is that I can use it as, I can hold Option and do a bandpass filter, which I really wish they added in the Pro EQ. If they did that, I'd probably use that more on vocals. But whenever I need to do a little surgical EQ, I like to use this Neutron Elements. So yeah, let's see if we can find where we can make some cuts down in the low mids to see if we can get some more clarity.
It's funny, I was that the whole time. Yeah. As fresh as I ever been. You're not the hero, so you must be the heroine. Yeah, I'm super dope, about as dope as heroin or a prescription drug. So sick that I forgot what my prescriptions was. There was so many rappers that thought they were better than me. There was so many. but they all fell short, yet considered the source. After all, why would I consider a loss when there's no need? Why give back when there's no feed? Like my ribs don't touch, like you can cut one of my veins and I won't bleed much. That is such BS. Sincerely yours, JUSPS. This is where the love ends, I guess. But how could the love end in such a mess when I'm more of a romantic that tries to do away with all these dramatics? I admit my words and actions can be sporadic, added up, but it don't take mathematics to know I'm fresh as I ever been. You're not the doctor, so you must be patient when you're sitting in the waiting room like a car waits for the boom. Turn the key, the ignition, then boom, the car blows up. When the people start bitching and they'll all hoe up and start pointing fingers. Beware of idiocracy, cause jealous hearts linger. It's funny, I was that the whole time. You're not the hero, so you must be the heroine. Yeah, I'm super dope by this dope ass heroin or a prescription drug. So sick that I forgot what my prescriptions was. There was so many rappers that thought they were better than me. There was so many, but they all fell short, yet considered the source. After all, why would I consider a loss when there's no need? Why give back when there's no feed? Like my ribs don't touch, like you can cut one of my veins and I won't bleed much. That is such BS. Sincerely yours, JUSPS. This is where the love ends, I guess, but how?
Okay, so that's already starting to sound a little cleaner to me. So, just a quick EQ tip here. I like to use proportional Q EQs when doing vocals. So, what that means is you'll notice that as it boosts, it's wide, and the more you boost, it gets narrow. And the same way on the cut. The boost or the cut starts wide and it gets narrow the further you go down. So I like proportional cues on that. And then for this cue here, the lower you bring it, let's do this for example, the lower you bring it, the wider it gets, higher the cue, the tighter it gets. So with making EQ cuts in vocals, generally have the cue at 1.5 to 2, somewhere around there, because I still want, in most cases when I'm cutting something down there, I don't want to cut just that frequency. I want to cut kind of what's around it to the left and right of it as well. So that's the reason for the cue size here. Now, if I did in fact want to cut something, make it very narrow, then I can turn that cue up and I can narrowly cut that frequency. That I'll use generally more in the upper frequencies. I don't want to cut too much. I don't want to cut too wide in the upper frequencies because that's where your presence is. So I'm going to take a couple more listens to this. I think I'm okay with this. It's kind of subtle, but if you listen really closely, you can hear a little of that, just a little more clarity come into it with cutting some of these low mids out.
You're not the hero, so you must be the heroine. Yeah, I'm super dope by this dope ass heroin or a prescription drug. So sick that I forgot what my prescriptions was. There was so many rappers that thought they were better than me. There was so many, but they all fell short, yet considered the source. After all, why would I consider a loss?
All right, let's listen to it in the track. The one thing about cutting low mids is it will make the vocal brighter because you're cutting some of that low end energy. But let's listen to it in the track now.
You're not the hero, so you must be the heroine. Yeah, I'm super dope by this dope ass heroin or a prescription drug. So sick that I forgot what my prescriptions was. There was so many rappers that thought they were better than me. There was so many, but they all fell short, yet considered the source. After all, why would I consider a loss?
Okay, so I'm good with that. I might boost some high mids, but I don't want it to get too bright to make it cut through a little more. right now, we need to get some compression on here. While I like the EQ on here, I'm not too crazy about the compressor, but I'm gonna go ahead and try it since we got it pulled up. Because there's definitely some points, and so the reason I say this vocal needs some compression is that there are certainly points where it's a little too loud. I think on the end, whoop, how would that just do? Okay, in the end, around here, I think that starts to get loud, and there's definitely some parts where the vocal dips a little bit, and so we just want to keep this good and consistent. But let's go ahead and try this compressor here and see if I like what I'm getting from it.
When the people start bitching and the it's funny, I was that the whole time. Yeah. As fresh as I ever been. You're not the hero, so you must be the heroine. Yeah, I'm super dope, about as dope as heroin or a prescription drug. So sick that I forgot what my prescriptions was. There was so many rappers that thought they were better than me. There was so many, but they all fell short, yet considered the source. After all, why would I consider a loss when there's no need? Why give back when there's no feed? Like my ribs don't touch, like you can cut one of my veins and I won't bleed much. That is such BS. Sincerely yours, JUSPS. This is where the love ends, I guess. But how could the love end in such a mess when I'm more of a romantic that tries to do away with all the dramatics? I admit my words and actions can be sporadic, added up, but it don't take mathematics to know I'm fresh as I ever been. You're not the doctor, so you must be patient when you're sitting in the waiting room like a car bomb waits for the boom. Turn the key, the ignition, then boom, the car blows up when the people.
Okay, yeah, I'm not liking that, so let's take that off. Wait a minute. Okay, yeah, I want to leave the EQ on. So let's see. This is going to be some trial and error here. I definitely want a clean compressor. Well, I do want to add some body to it, but I don't want anything that's really going to change the color of this. Let's try. I'm going to grab just a stock Studio One compressor and see from there. I kind of want to grab the Waves R-Comp, but I'm trying to use stuff that not everybody uses. The R-Comp is so popular for good reason, because it works really well. We might end up there, but we'll see. We're gonna go through some compressors here and see if we can find one to fit this vocal.
It's funny, I was that the whole time. Yeah. As fresh as I ever been. You're not the hero, so you must be the heroine. Yeah, I'm super dope, about as dope as heroin or a prescription drug. So sick that I forgot what my prescriptions. So many rappers that thought they were better than me. There was so many, but they all fell short, yet considered the source. After all, why would I consider a loss when there's no need? Why give back when there's no feed? Like my ribs don't touch, like you can cut one of my veins and I won't bleed much. That is such BS. Sincerely yours, JUSPS. This is where the love ends, I guess. But how could the love end in such a mess when I'm more of a romantic that tries to do away with all the dramatics? I admit my words and actions can be sporadic, added up, but it don't take mathematics to know I'm fresh as I ever been. You're not the doctor, so you must be patient when you're sitting in the waiting room like a car bomb waits for the boom. Turn the key, the ignition, then boom, the car blows up when the people start bitching and they'll all hoe up and start pointing fingers. Beware of idiocracy, cause jealous hearts linger. I'm fresh as I ever been. You're not the doctor, so you must be patient when You're sitting in the waiting room like a car bomb waits for the boom. Turn the key, the ignition, then boom, the car blows up when the people. I'm fresh as I ever been. You're not the doctor, so you must be patient when you're sitting in the waiting room like a car bomb waits for the boom. Turn the key, the ignition, then boom, the car blows up when the people.
So that part there is where it really starts to get loud, which is where I'm trying to dial in the compression to handle that. Especially when the second time it says boom, it's really loud, and the phrase after that is really loud. And right now, I think the compressor's doing a good job. I'm just going to try to dial it in a little bit more. And the lower parts, the parts that were low, I can hear those coming up as well now.
I'm fresh as I ever been. You're not the doctor, so you must be patient when you're sitting in the waiting room like a car bomb waits for the boom. Turn the key, the ignition, then boom, the car blows up when the people start bitching and the law hoe up and start pointing fingers. Beware of idiocracy, cause jealous hearts linger.
Okay, so I'm going to play that part with compression and without compression so you can hear the difference. Just listen to that. The second time he says boom, and I forgot what the phrase after that is, but yeah, so listen to those here.
Then boom, the car blows up when the people start bitching and the law hoe up. The waiting room like a car bomb waits for the boom. Turn the key, the ignition, then boom, the car blows up. The waiting room like a car bomb waits for the boom. Turn the key, the ignition, then boom, the car blows up when the people. The waiting room like a car bomb waits for the boom. Turn the key, the ignition, then boom, the car blows up when the people start bitching and the law hoe up.
Okay, so yeah, I'm happy with that. So the compressor's really holding that in place. I feel like it's starting to get a little bright though. Let's see. We do have, I'm gonna roll off just a little bit of these highs. All right, I'm gonna take it back from the top here.
As fresh as I ever been, you're not the hero, so you must be the heroine. Yeah, I'm super dope, about as dope as heroin or a prescription drug. So sick that I forgot what my prescriptions was. There was so many rappers that thought they were better than me, there was so many. But they all fell short, yet considered the source. After all, why would I consider a loss when there's no need? Why give back when there's no feed? Like my ribs don't touch, like you can cut one of my veins and I won't bleed much. That is such BS. Sincerely yours, JUSPS. This is where the love ends, I guess. But how could the love end in such a mess when I'm more of a romantic that tries to do away with all the dramatics? I admit my words and actions can be sporadic, added up, but it don't take mathematics to know I'm fresh as I ever been. You're not the doctor, so you must be patient when you're sitting in the waiting room like a car bomb waits for the boom. Turn the key, the ignition, then boom, the car blows up when the people start bitching and the law hoe up and start pointing fingers. Beware of idiocracy, cause jealous hearts linger.
Okay, so I was listening to see if there is any parts where the vocal dips that I may need to bring up. So just really listening for clarity and intelligibility where you can just hear everything with, especially with vocals, you want to make sure everything is clear and you can understand everything that's being said. So I was able to follow along with the whole verse. So let's move on to this, what we'll call the second verse here, which is the second half of this. And of course, I'm going to keep the same settings that we have. It should work fine for this. And I'm just listening for any dips in the vocal that we may need to pull up.
I'm as fresh as I ever been. I'ma stay sick, so there's no need for medicine. No more Seroquel, no more Ativan. Oh snap, I remembered. Yes, I remember that I'm a monster that was created by ridicule. Figure I stick around till I'm paid residuals. I'm tired of weighing it out, and I'm sick of paying dues. But whose dues do I have to keep paying? And by whose rules do I have to keep playing? I mean, aren't I my own man? Think for myself, draw up my own plan. Not having to follow in someone else's and be limited to the meager successes. I prefer to be limitless. You can keep the fame and the fortune I'll get and spread it amongst those deemed worthy. I'm old school like James Worthy, dishing the rock to Magic Johnson for 3. Don't you see, he's fresh, I prefer to be limitless. You can keep the fame and the fortune I'll get and spread it amongst those deemed worthy. I'm old school like James Worthy, dishing the rock to Magic Johnson. Aren't I my own man? Think for myself, draw up my own plan. Not having to follow in someone else's and be limited to the meager successes. I prefer to be limitless. You can keep the fame and the fortune I'll get and spread it amongst those deemed worthy.
Okay, so there's nothing on. There's no vocal dips in there, but I do want to try to fix this. I think where he says keep, there's like a mouth noise there. And we'll try one of the new features in Studio 1.5, the gain envelopes, to fix that. Let me see. No reverb on the vocal. I don't. No, not on rap vocals. Yeah, I don't put, especially for this type of song. I know, like, I listen to, what's his name? Like Drake. Like Drake has reverb on his vocals. Generally, I don't put reverb on rap vocals, but it all depends on what the song needs. With this being like a kind of grimy hip hop track, I wouldn't put a reverb on this vocal. Let's see if we can fix this keep. Yeah, see if y'all can hear what I'm talking about. This might be it, this little spike here. But listen to, there's like a mouth noise where he says keep.
Successes. I prefer to be limitless. You can keep the fame and the fortune I'll get and spread it.
Yeah, so let's try to take care of that. Zoom on in. I don't know which one it is. Solo this.
You can keep the fame and keep the fame and keep the fame and you can keep the fame and the fortune. You can keep the fame.
Okay, so new in Studio 1.5 is the what's it called? Gain envelope. So this is going to affect before it reaches the plugins, and we're going to get a little. Okay, it's about as close as we can get. Let's do from here to here, and I'm just going to get rid of that. Here we go. Okay. I'm just going to pull that down. And you can see the waveform adjust to the change. How far down is that? 12 dB? Let's give that a listen.
You can keep the fame and the be limitless. You can keep the fame and the fortune I'll be limitless. You can keep the fame and the fortune. Be limitless. You can keep the fame and be limitless. You can keep the fame and the fortune. Be limitless. You can keep the fame and the fortune I
All right, yeah, it's not where it's better, but it's not exactly where I would want it. So I'm gonna go down another 4 dB. Let's go down to 16 dB. All right, let's see what that sounds like.
You can keep the fame and the fortune. List. You can keep the fame and the fortune. I'll keep the fame and keep the fame and the fortune I'll get and spread it amongst those. You can keep the fame and this. You can keep the fame and the fortune
Okay, I think that's sounding better. Let's put it in the track.
and be limited to the meager successes. I prefer to be limitless. You can keep the fame and the fortune I'll get and spread it up and be limited to the meager successes. I prefer to be limitless. You can keep the fame and the fortune I'll get.
All right, the U is kind of bothering me too right before it, which is this one here. We'll pull that down. So let's start with 12 dB.
I prefer to be limitless. You can keep the fame and the fortune I'll get and spread it amongst those deemed worthy. I'm old school like James Worthy, dishing the.
Okay, that's good to me. So let's move down to the ad libs where we're going to I'm just going to copy over the same settings. And I've already got the ad libs down some. So I am going to put some delay on the ad lib track here. Where is? There we go. All right, let's take it back from the top and we'll get some delay dialed in. I'm thinking me and Gene, you say, will I be using a de-esser? Not on this. The S's aren't really bothering me on this, so no, I don't feel a de-esser necessary on this vocal. Normally, my go-to de-esser though is the Waves sibilance, which I can't remember which one I use it on. If these mix videos I do, they I can't remember which one, but there's been a couple that I use the Wave sibilance on, but no, I don't feel that this one has a lot of S's poking out. Now, I will say, I think back here, there was a couple S's that jumped out a little bit, but they weren't really that bad to me. For overall, the S's in the vocal sound fine to me. Let me know, do you think they're poking out? Get y'all's opinion. But I don't feel that it needs de-essing, not this vocal. Where were we? Oh, adding the delay. I'm trying to think. I'm going to go ahead and try this analog delay again. I know last week or last time we did this, it was kind of giving me some I just wasn't getting it dialed in the way I wanted to. Actually, go with something I know is going to work. Grab this H delay. All right, let's get this dialed in.
those deemed. It's funny, I was that the whole time. Yeah. As fresh as I ever been. You're not the hero, so you must be the heroine. Yeah, I'm super dope, about as dope as heroin or a prescription drug. So sick that I forgot what my prescriptions was. There was so many rappers that thought they were better than me. There was so many, but they all fell short, yet considered the source. After all, why would I consider a loss when there's no need? Why give back when there's no feed? Like my ribs don't touch, like you can cut one of my veins and I won't bleed much. That is such BS. Sincerely yours, JUSPS. This is where the love ends, I guess. But how could the love end in such a mess when I'm more of a romantic that tries to do away with all the dramatics? I admit my words and actions can be sporadic, added up, but it don't take mathematics to know I'm fresh as I ever been. You're not the doctor, so you must be patient when you're sitting in the waiting room like a car bomb waits for the boom. Turn the key, the ignition, then boom, the car blows up. When the people start bitching and the law and start pointing fingers, beware of idiocracy, cause jealous hearts linger. I'm as fresh as I ever been. I'ma stay sick, so there's no need for medicine. No more Seroquel, no more Ativan. Oh snap, I remembered. Yes, I remember that I'm a monster that was created by ridicule. Figure I stick around till I'm paid residuals. I'm tired of weighing it out, and I'm sick of paying dues. By whose dues do I have to keep paying? And by whose rules do I have to keep playing? I mean, aren't I my own man? Think for myself, draw up my own plan. Not having to follow in someone else's and be limited to the meager successes. I prefer to be limitless. You can keep the fame and the fortune I'll get and spread it amongst those deemed worthy. I'm old school like James Worthy, dishing the rock to Magic Johnson for 3. Don't you see, he's fresh. I'm as fresh as I ever been. I'ma stay sick, so there's no need for medicine. No more Seroquel, no more Ativan. Oh snap, I remembered. Yes, I remember that I'm a monster that was created by ridicule. Figure I stick around till I'm paid residuals. I'm tired of weighing it out, and I'm sick of paying dues. By whose dues do I have to keep paying? And by whose rules do I have to keep playing? I mean, aren't I my own man? Think for myself, draw up my own plan. Someone else's and be limited to the meager successes. I prefer to be limitless. You can keep the fame and the fortune I'll get and spread it amongst those deemed worthy. I'm old school like James Worthy, dishing the rock to Magic Johnson for 3. Don't you see, he's fresh. I'm fresh, I'm so.
All right, try to get this dialed in. I forget that when he raps in his ad-libs, he kind of does his own delays, which is going to throw off the delay. So, yeah, for him, I generally need to go through and just place the delays where I want them. That lockdown banks. Is there a difference between... You said the new aux? Oh, yeah, the aux channel. So, is there a difference between the new aux channel and an effects track? Yeah. So the aux track, I really don't know why they called it aux, because it's kind of confusing in my opinion. Because generally, an aux track is the same thing as a bus track, but the new aux track in Studio 1.5 allows you to bring in like your hardware. Like I have a Korg Triton sitting over here in the corner that I used to do beats on, and with the aux with the new aux track, I can plug my Triton into my quantum interface. Let's say inputs 3 and 4. I can plug it into inputs 3 and 4, save that aux channel, and then I can create the MIDI for the Triton as well would be tied to that aux track if I save it all like that. So every time I pull up that instrument, or every time I pull up the Triton, it'll be set to 3 and 4, and I can use the MIDI and the audio coming into the aux channel at the same time. The effects channel, or the effects track, is for, like your delay, reverb, stuff like that that you just want to send a partial signal of the track to. So you can see I've got an effects track here, and I'm sending it to the effects track, and this is controlling how much I'm sending to that track. With the aux, let me see if I add an aux channel, and maybe let's see. See if it gives me the option to send to that aux channel. I'm not seeing it. Let me aux 1. Yes, I don't know if I can send to the aux, unless I'm just not seeing it. No. Yeah, it's not. So that's no stereo aux in. Okay. So yeah, so with the aux channel, you can't send to it like you could, for example, with a bus. So that's the biggest difference. I really don't see myself using the aux channel. I haven't messed with it enough to really find a use for it. I mean, unless I decide to hook my Triton up, because you can, which I kind of did to try to play with it, but actually I've, in doing it, found out that my Triton is kind of broke. The MIDI's not working on it. But multi-instruments, external instruments. So if I was to drag this external instrument in, okay, that didn't work. And actually, now that I think of it, because I'm using this going live, I'm not using my other inputs, so I don't know if it's going to let me show it anyway. Oh, that's why. Okay. So, yeah, here I could select the aux, and you can see I've got Triton Classics. I tried to set this up already, but see, I can send it to aux 1. So really, the aux channel allows you to bring in other, or even a mixer. If you had a mixer, you want to feed a mixer signal into Studio One and have that locked, saved, as anytime you turn on these inputs, it's coming from that mixer. For example, you could do that. That's what you can do with the aux channel, but it doesn't look like I can send stuff to the aux channel. But if I was able to access my inputs 3 and 4 on my Quantum right now, and I could play the keys on the Triton, it would show up through that aux track. Justin, you said, do I find the new Listen Bus feature helpful? I'm going to say I don't, and that's just because I don't use it. I'm not saying that it's not helpful. I just don't use it. The main reason for that was for if you're using, like, I think it's called SonarWorks, like a room correction type software, you could put that on the Listen Bus and it doesn't affect your main bus, which is pretty genius. It's a really good feature. I just don't have a need for it because I don't use any room correction I've got acoustic panels set up in my studio here, and I've never felt that I've needed any room correction software. I'm trying to find another use for it, but I just haven't messed with it that much to really. I tried to get Waves Q-Clone to work through it, because using Q-Clone, you have to create a loop and I didn't get that to work. So I really haven't messed with the listen bus since. Lockdown Bane says there's no need for aux and a bus channel. Definitely bus channels. I mean, the aux channel just has a very specific use. If you're not using hardware instruments, when I say hardware instruments, like Roland keyboard, Chord keyboard, what's the other one? Yamaha, Motif, something like that. You can use the aux channel to bring that keyboard into Studio One and play its MIDI at the same time. Which I'm thinking about getting just like a rack mount synthesizer just to have it to play with through the aux channel. But the buses, no, you still use your buses for delays, reverb, stuff like that. And the difference between the bus and the effects is that the bus, where's a bus here? The bus track, you can still send from this bus somewhere else, whereas the effects track, you can see there's no send. That's the only difference between the effects and the bus track. Aux is the hardware version of a software instrument. I agree with that. That's a good way to put it. Mean Gene, yeah, that's a good short way to put it. So, yeah, that's really the main use for the aux channel, which is really helpful if you have a lot of keyboards and stuff like that. I've just only one I've kept over the years was just the Korg Triton, which like again, messing with this aux channel, I need to get it fixed, or even decide if I'm gonna get it fixed. This thing has just been sitting over in the corner for years or decades, really. I've had that thing almost 20 years now. Where are we on this? Oh, the delays. Okay. Yeah, I'm not going to fool too much with the delays. Like I said, I forgot that he kind of puts his own delays in there with his ad-libs, saying it after he says it on the lead. So we're going to leave that alone. I think we're pretty much wrap up with this. Where are we at time-wise? Almost at an hour and a half. Okay. It's a good time. Yeah, if y'all got any more questions, just want to chat, we can certainly sit and do that for a second. But I'm pretty good with, or actually, y'all got any more questions? Go ahead and drop them in the chat. I'm gonna play the track back with the effects, what we've done now, and then I'm just gonna disable the plugin so you can hear where we started at to where we are now.
It's funny, I was that the whole time. Yeah. As fresh as I ever been. You're not the hero, so you must be the heroine. Yeah, I'm super dope, about as dope as heroin or a prescription drug. So sick that I forgot what my prescriptions was. There was so many rappers that thought they were better than me. There was so many. But they all fell short, yet considered the source. After all, why would I consider a loss? When there's no need, why give back when there's no feed? Like my ribs don't touch, like you can cut one of my veins and I won't bleed much. That is such BS. Sincerely yours, JUSPS. This is where the love ends, I guess. But how could the love end in such a mess when I'm more of a romantic that tries to do away with all the dramatics? I admit my words and actions can be sporadic, added up, but it don't take mathematics to know I'm fresh as I ever been. You're not the doctor, so you must be patient when you're sitting in the waiting room like a car bomb waits for the boom. Turn the key, the ignition, then boom, the car blows up. When the people start bitching and the law hoe up and start pointing fingers, beware of idiocracy, cause jealous hearts linger. I'm as fresh as I ever been. I'ma stay sick, so there's no need for medicine. No more Seroquel, no more Ativan. Oh snap, I remembered. Yes, I remember that I'm a monster that was created by ridicule. Figure I stick around till I'm paid residuals. I'm tired of weighing it out, and I'm sick of paying dues. By whose dues do I have to keep paying? And by whose rules do I have to keep playing? I mean, Aren't I my own man? Think for myself, draw up my own plan. Not having to follow in someone else's and be limited to the meager successes. I prefer to be limitless. You can keep the fame and the fortune I'll get and spread it amongst those deemed worthy. I'm old school like James Worthy. I prefer to be limitless. You can keep the fame and the not having to follow in someone else's and be limited to the meager successes. I prefer to be limitless. You can keep the fame and the.
All right, that I prefer to be limitless is a little low. And we just fixed that with some quick volume automation. We'll just turn it up like maybe 2 dB. Oh, send mute. No. All right.
Having to follow in someone else's and be limited to the meager successes. I prefer to be limitless. You can keep the fame and the fortune I'll get and spread it to the meager successes. I prefer to be limitless. You can keep the fame and the fortune I'll get and spread it amongst those deemed worthy. I'm old school like James Worthy, dishing the rock to Magic Johnson for 3.
Okay, so yeah, that's better. So last thing I'm going to go over, because I really didn't show it, was the bus compression that I'm using, which is the Brit Comp, which is an SSL compressor. And let's see, I'm just going to play it back and just notice. So with bus compression, I never really do no more than like 2 to 3 dB compression. Like, you don't need a lot of, in my opinion, you don't need a lot of compression on the mixed bus. So I'm just going to show you where this is hitting it on the mixed bus here.
As fresh as I ever been, I'ma stay sick, so there's no need for medicine. No more Seroquel, no more Ativan, oh snap, I remembered. Yes, I remember that I'm a monster. That was.
That's interesting. I guess we weren't getting any compression the whole time. Let me bring down the threshold some.
As fresh as I ever been, I'ma stay sick, so there's no need for medicine. No more Seroquel, no more Ativan, oh snap, I remembered. Yes, I remember that I'm a monster that was created by ridicule. Figure I stick around till I'm paid residuals. I'm tired of weighing it out, and I'm sick of paying dues. But whose dues do I have to keep paying? And by who?
All right, so there's it with the bus compression. I still don't really hear the glue that I want to hear from the bus compression with this, but like I said in the last one, I've mixed on an SSL console before. I've used the actual hardware SSL bus compressor a lot, so I'm familiar with how it sounds, and I'm really picky about these SSL style compressors. And also when I mix, I use a Chameleon Lab 7721, which isn't a per se a SSL style clone. The 7720 was, but the 7721, but it's got a lot of that glue factor that just glues tracks together in it. And the Smart C1LA is the other hardware bus compressor I use, and it does a good job of gluing stuff too. I mean, I'm not a fan of a lot of the software SSL bus compressors, and I may with this one I may need to pull it down even more to hear that glue that I want. But I don't want a lot. I don't want 8 dB compression on the mix bus. In my opinion, that's just too much. But I'm gonna wrap this up unless y'all have any more questions. Just drop them in the chat. Let me know. If you want me to mix one of your tracks on or one of your sessions on YouTube here, I'm gonna have my email in the description. I'm just, I'm not doing anything with, don't send me a session with 30, 40 tracks or anything like that. I want to, something I can get through within like 2 hours. But I'll have all that in the description is there. Also, want everyone to go check out my podcast, the Faders Up podcast, which is a podcast where we talk about, it's a pro audio podcast. I'd say that it's about pro audio and beyond. We talk about really everything Pro Audio on there. I think this is the last episode that we just dropped dealing with professionalism, and we've got a new episode coming out next Friday. We drop one every other weekend. And then we got a recent one on artificial intelligence and Pro Audio. That was a really good episode to me. Let me see. Lockdown Bang, you say, is the Waves SSL bus compressor any good? It's okay to me. And the reason I don't use it anymore. And the reason I don't use it anymore, I'll leave this one up. There's one key feature that is missing that keeps me from using it. And it's instruments. Hold on. Waves, let's see. Where is it? Well, and I might even have it hidden because I don't use it. SSL. Oh, comp. There it is. Okay. So, and while we're doing this, I may as well pull up. Let's see. This one as well. So this is the SSL bus compressor from SSL. Where'd the Waves one go? Okay, so the Waves one I used for a little bit when I got the SSL bundle, but there is no high pass filter on here, which is the reason I don't use it. I mix a lot of hip hop, pop, rap. We've got a lot of hard hitting drums, low end bass. That's going to drive the compressor. That's going to drive the compression on the mix bus. And without me being able to roll off the low end, I just don't use this compressor. Now I like it on just like a drum bus. It's good on that. But as far as a mix bus, I don't use it. It sounds okay. It's not that it sounds bad. It's just missing a feature that I need for a bus compressor. Like, I will not even in 2020, I will not buy a bus compressor that doesn't have the high pass feature on it. And what the high pass feature does is, and you can see it's on the Fat channel on the Personas one. It's labeled key filter. I've never heard it be called a key filter before, so I don't know why they use that terminology for it. But I can roll this up and roll off the high end. So by rolling off rolling off the low end. By rolling off the low end, now the compressor doesn't see that low end. Let's see. Yeah, so it's normally called a sidechain high pass filter. So on the SSL bus compressor, which to me is the best sounding SSL style bus compressor, I want to say it's kind of obvious that SSL would make the best one because they're modeling their own gear. But this SSL stereo bus compressor is the best SSL style bus compressor to me. It is pricey, and even I caught it on sale. Like, you have to catch it on sale. I wouldn't pay their regular price for it. I think it's like, I don't know, $250, $300 or something like that. But you can catch it on sale. So you can see I can set this. So if I set this to, say, 100 hertz, now anything below 100 hertz won't be seen by the compressor. So under 100 hertz, that's where you have your bass, your kick drum. That's not going to drive the compression. So the one thing that the Fat channel has that none of these have, well, the Waves doesn't have it at all, but listen to, if I hit this key, now I can hear what I'm rolling out, meaning that I can hear the low end that I'm setting it for. I also don't know why Presonus didn't put the what is it? Like, when I move this, I can't see what frequency I'm at. I mean, it's just a knob, 40 hertz up to 16K. The SSL one, I can see what frequency I'm at. So that would have been really helpful, but at least I can hit this key and listen to it. So I'm going to show you that. So I'm going to play it. I'm going to roll up the key to what I would think is like 100 hertz. And then I'm going to turn the key on. And the key is going to allow you to hear that low end that you're rolling out.
as fresh as I ever been. I'ma stay sick, so there's no need for medicine. No more Seroquel, no more Ativan. Oh snap, I remember. Yes, I remember that I'm a monster that was created by ridicule. Figure I stick around till I'm paid residuals. I'm tired of weighing it out, and I'm sick of paying dues. By whose dues do I have to keep paying? And by whose rules do I have to keep playing? I mean,
So if you have PreSonus Sphere, you get all of the Fat Channel plugins with it, and one of them is this brick comp. So if you want to roll off the low end out of the compression on your mix bus, that's how you do it. You turn this up, you can hit the key to hear what you're rolling out, and once you find the spot that you want to be at, just turn that off, and then you're successfully rolling out the low end out of the compression. Say price is high. Yeah, the price is high, and I'm about to look it up right now just because I'm curious. I got all my SSL plugins on sale. Actually, to be honest with you, I got everything I got on sale. Like, I don't pay full price for anything. Plugins go on sale all the time. I would never pay regular price for a plugin. Pretty much everyone has summer sales. Everyone has Black Friday sales. That's generally when I stock up on something that I'm looking at. Let's see, SSL. It's called Stereo Bus Compressor. I'm curious how much it is. And oh no, that's the hardware. I'm talking about the software. I have to go to Solid to SSL site. Or if any of y'all find it before me, just go ahead and drop it in the chat. I'm on my phone trying to find it. Solid State Logic. All right. Native plugins. There we go. It is audio interface. No. Oh, plugins. SSL native. All right. Subscription. I don't want a subscription. Okay, well they got a subscription for $14.99 purchase. Here we go. Golly. Finally. Okay. So the whole SSL native bundle is $1,600. Let's see. Yeah, the bus compressor is $329. So yeah, that's high for a plug-in. But like I said, you can catch these. Just sign up to SSL's newsletter, and you'll get an email when it goes on sale. They just had a sale for the X Valve comp, which I really like. They had it on sale for like $34 for like 2 days or something like that. And that one normally sells for Valve comp $119. So that's not bad. But yeah, always get your plugins on sale. All right. If anyone doesn't have any other questions, we will end this. $329 is Sweetwater. Yeah, that's a lot for one. Like $329, I'd want like a couple plugins. So like, yeah, that is. Like I said, they are pricey. They're worth it. They're good, but I just wouldn't pay full price for them or any plugins. Just wait till it goes on sale. Rob, if there's not any other questions, we'll go ahead and end this. I thank everybody for tuning in. I try to do this every other weekend. So, like this weekend I'm doing it. Next weekend, and I'll be recording my podcast. And the weekend after that, I'll try to be back with another live mix. And yeah, if y'all want me to mix y'all sessions, just send them to me. Once I end this, I'll have all the plugins that I used. I think I used that many third-party plugins. But yeah, all the plugins that I've used in this, I will have a link to them in the video description, as well as my email and everything, if you want to email me a session. Minecraft, you said, what do I think about the townhouse bus compressor? So I got that too. I just got that a couple weeks ago, and I haven't really used it yet. I think I used it on one of these live mixes, and that's this one. So I think I picked this up for like $20 on Plug-in Alliance. I think it was on sale for 40, and I had like a $20 voucher. So I haven't really used this yet. I just picked it up because because it was $20. I went ahead and grabbed it. This is another SSL style, and it does have up here. It's got the sidechain filter that you can roll off the lows. So I have to mess with this more. I don't know how much I'll just be using it because when I mix, I use hardware. I use hardware on my mix bus. So, but I'm definitely going to. I'll get around to using it as well. I need to do a review on it as well. I need to review some of these plugins, these recent plugins that I've got. In-house, you say plugins or hardware, or should you have a mixture? I use a mixture. I have a lot of hardware, and I generally use my hardware on drums and vocals. Like I don't do a whole mix where I just completely use hardware on everything because yeah, my hardware sounds great, but it's also not the easiest thing to integrate. I mean, Studio One makes it easy to integrate with Pipeline, but then you've got recall if you pull the session back up, or that's why I try to mix just one song at a time, because especially if I'm using hardware, I don't like to keep changing the settings and everything to go to a next mix and this and that. So generally when I'm using the hardware, I will record a new track of, or let's say if I'm using hardware on the vocals, I'll record a new track through the hardware, and that way I'll have a track with the hardware set on it, and I'll put in the channel notes in Studio One my settings for it. So, but yeah, I use a mixture of both. I actually, and sometimes I'll try to use plugins first just because it's easier, it's more convenient. But if I'm not getting the sounds that I want out of plugins, I'll definitely reach for my hardware and mix with it. You said, do I think UAD Apollo X is worth it over having hardware than an Audient? I haven't used the Audient and I haven't used the UAD. It's worth it over having hardware. Oh, okay. Okay, I see what you're saying. So hardware and Audient or just UAD. So here's my thing with UAD. This isn't a diss towards them, or I'm not hating on them, but I just don't see a reason for me to use UAD. And I just say that because I have so many plugins already. I have so much hardware gear, and I just don't see a reason for me to buy into UAD's ecosystem. Like everything that they have, I already have a couple versions of, like their LA2A. Okay, I've got the Waves LA2A. I've got the BX Opto from Plug-in Alliance. I've got a McDSP version of LA2A. I probably got something else I've got the Fat Channel emulation of LA2A. So with me going into UAD, it's just me, I feel, is me buying another, I feel like it's me getting something another version of what I already have. Now, some people, which is personal preference, say the UAD plugins sound the best. They sound better than Waves. They sound better than Softtube. Okay, one, that's your personal opinion, but two, does the UAD sound that much better than my Waves? Does it sound that much better than my Softtube? Probably not. So I don't think it's worth me buying into the UAD ecosystem. And lastly, with UAD, I don't like the fact of having to, with their DSP, the way they do things, I can't drop a UAD plugin on all my tracks. Like I have a certain amount of tracks that I can use my UAD plugins on, and I don't like that. If they have their API. If I wanted to put that on every track, then I want to be able to put that on every track. I don't want to have to say what track is going to be lucky enough to get my UAD plugins because they're DSP powered and I can run out of power. So that's my whole. Now, when I was at NAMM this year, I did fill out a sweepstakes that UAD was running to get a free Apollo. If I want a free Apollo, then yeah, I'll check it out. I would use it, but I just don't see a point of me buying into UAD's platform. You said you think it's necessary to invert. Well, you think it's necessary? To invest in Pro Tools, or should tracking and mixing your own DAW in Ableton Logic Studio? So my thoughts on that. To me, I don't think it's necessary. Well, it depends on what you want to do. If you want to work in a studio, then yes, you absolutely have to learn Pro Tools because that's what these studios are using is Pro Tools. So I have Pro Tools. I've learned Pro Tools. I know Pro Tools, and I'm pretty much done with Pro Tools. Like, I don't use it. Y'all know I use Studio One to mix. I've been using that for the past 10 years. Pro Tools, unless you're gonna work in a studio, because let's be real, if you have clients coming over that you're recording, they don't care what you're using. They don't care what DAW you're using. I think in these past, I'm gonna say 15 years, I lost one job because I'm not using Pro Tools. And I think that, and the guy, I don't think he really knew audio. Like, I was trying to tell him that, and I think he wanted me to edit an audio book, I think it was, or a sermon from a church. And I was telling, which you can do in anything, but I think he was so caught up on the term Pro Tools that he felt like if I wasn't using Pro Tools, I'm not serious, I guess, or whatever. I don't know. But yeah, if you want to work in a studio, then yeah, you need to learn Pro Tools. But we all know that all of these other DAWs, and I mean all of these other DAWs, do more than what Pro Tools does for less money. And especially like Studio One is just a more innovative product. Pro Tools to me is like Apple, where Apple comes out with new features and they act like they're the first to do it when everyone else has had it forever. Pro Tools is like that. What's the last thing they just, folder tracks. So Pro Tools now has folder tracks. We've had folder tracks in Studio One since version 2, I think. So it's just, yeah, and Pro Tools is so expensive to get into is the other thing. Should tracking and mixing. But yeah, definitely use what you feel comfortable with using. I hate in the Studio One Facebook group when they're like, should I buy Studio One or stick with Logic? Or which one is better, Studio One or Logic? Only you can determine that. You need to use both of them and decide which one better. I mean, it's like saying what's better, a Toyota or a Honda. You need to drive both of those cars and determine which one you like better. Someone else can't tell you what you like. Let's see. They say UAD is ClickFunnels. I think you go back to spending thousands trying to invest in their system. Yeah. I can get the mix to sound just as great in-house. You're saying with Waves and Sound Toys. Yeah, I love Sound Toys stuff. That's another one, is that you just wait for that on sale, which like every Black Friday, Sound Toys has a sale, and just buy the whole bundle. Like there's still is no better delay plug-in, in my opinion, than Echo Boy with what you can do for it. And Wave stuff is great too, and Wave stuff is always on sale. That you don't have to wait for it because it's just always on sale. UAD DSP really turns me off. Yep, it does me. It does to me too, because I feel like I'm not a computer nerd like that, but I feel like the DSP power in a UAD box, I feel like my computer has more power than that. I could be wrong, but that's just my feel. Because especially if I buy a new computer, you can't tell me if I buy a new computer in 2020, the specs aren't faster than what's in a UAD DSP box. So. Have you used Acoustica? Do I have anything from them? No, Acusonics is what I'm thinking of. Acoustica. No, I do not have anything from Acoustica. Um, why don't I use any delays or reverb? I do. Um, I've got the H delay on this now. I didn't use any reverb on this, but yeah, no, I definitely use reverbs and delays, and I've got a ton of reverbs and delays as well. Pretty much everything from waves as far as reverbs and delays. Um, it's very true. Can you tell? Hold on. That's very true. No one can tell you what you like. Yeah, you just have to try it yourself. That really that that aggravates me when I'm scrolling through the Facebook Studio One group. That and the question, should I upgrade to Studio One 5? Like, should you try it and find out? There's a trial. Stopping by for a quick second on a cook-up break. All right, that's what's up, Buck. You have to go through the experience. Yeah, that's true too. In-house, yeah, you have to go through the experience to know the experience. Speaking facts per se, you have to do what brings results. Yeah, you just have to try stuff, and find what works best for you. Because like I say, nobody's gonna care what you're using. They're just gonna care about the results. So yeah, definitely. I mean, I have no reason to upgrade my. I think I've got Pro Tools 12, which is kind of half-ass working on my. I think I got High Sierra on this Mac, and it I can't import audio anymore, which just I don't care because I don't use Pro Tools like that anymore. Now there's still now studios I work in here in Nashville. Yeah, they use Pro Tools, so I use Pro Tools then. But in the studio that I work out of, I've installed Studio One in there so I can track in Studio One, and I think we've put everything on that computer. Honestly, uh, Pro Tools, Logic, Studio One. I think I'm the only one in there that uses Studio One. Other engineer uses Logic, and I don't think anyone in there uses Pro Tools, but we just have it on there in case someone comes in the studio and needs to use it. And as you say, with music, there's multiple ways to get the same results or great. Yeah, that's true too. That's why I'm very careful to say I don't like to use the word best in pro audio or better because if you tell me what's better, an API preamp or a Neve preamp, it's not that one's better than the other. They're both different, and you just have to decide what you just have to decide which one you prefer. It could even come they could sound exactly the same, and then it comes down to which one you prefer of functionality, or it can come down to which one you prefer the look of. I mean, there's really not a best. I'm really careful about using the word best. I say that, but I will say that Echo Boy I feel is the best delay plugin. But yeah, everything has there was someone who tried to who was it? KRK monitors. I'm not the biggest fan of KRK monitors, and somebody was trying to tell me how good the new ones sound, and I'm like, okay, that's your preference. You think that. I may not think that. So, but that's kind of the good thing about pro audio is that we all have different preferences and stuff. Now, there's stuff that get used all the time, but we all get to decide what do we like and what we use. You have a 2013. I've got a 2011 iMac, and it's got gray hair. It's on its way out. Like, I am patiently, if y'all been following me on these lives, I've been patiently waiting for the new iMac to come out because I'm ready to upgrade. I'm getting just I think it's something wrong with the audio engine in mine now, and I don't know if I can reinstall my OS and reinstall just the audio for it. But yeah, I'm ready to get a new iMac pretty badly. I've got the money. I'm just waiting on Apple to release it. Okay. Just thinking about upgrading. And thinking about upgrading iMacs. I mean, if it's still working for you, it's fine. Mine is just it's just starting to slow down, and it's to the point where I feel like I need a new one. I just feel like everything will run smoother. And then I've been getting back into making beats for the fun of it. So, and y'all probably don't know this about me, but before engineering, I used to make beats, and I've been getting back into making beats, like I said, just for the fun of it. And man, these these virtual instruments, the CPU that they use, it's like, man, it's time for a new computer. Now mixing, I'm fine. I can do mixes on it. But yeah, these virtual instruments are eating up some CPU. You don't like KRK? Yeah, I'm just not a fan, and that's not a knock towards KRK. It's just not my preference. Um, It's like a lot of these Neve clones out there, I don't like. They sound muddy to me. There's no clarity in it. When I do vocals, I want clarity. So I'm not a fan of a lot of the Neve clones. UAD doesn't realize that their plugins power are passing the Shark's power. One day they'll have to come out with better processing or they suffer. Yeah, I don't know. If UAD went native, it would make me think about it. Certainly, maybe, but I just don't see a point. Your MacBook is slowing down. Yeah, it's I got 2011 iMac. I get about 10 years out of each Mac I get, so it's about that time. 16. Buck, you say only thing you can say about computer. You have 16 gigs of RAM, and I can't go down from. Yeah, I have 16 or 20 in mine. I can't remember because something happened. Oh, my graphics card went out, and it wasn't 32 gigs. Maybe it was 32 gigs. I had a lot of RAM in my computer, but when Apple took my computer to fix it, they took out my third-party RAM to see if that was what was causing the problem, and I just never put the RAM back in because it was a pain in the ass to get it in there originally. So I just left it alone. So I think I got 16 or 20, but yeah, I would not go below 16 gigs of RAM now. Like I've been thinking with this new iMac that I'm going to get whenever Apple releases it, I've been thinking, do I want to put 24 or 32 gigs of RAM in it, and deciding between that. They also have 32 gigs of RAM. Yeah, I think I'm going to go ahead and do, because I'm going to have this computer for another 10 years. So I'm thinking I'm going to go ahead and do the 32 gigs of RAM. UAD plugins actually use less power if you use Luna. UAD. Huh, well, that's interesting. So they use less power if you're using Luna. That doesn't make sense to me, though. I don't know why. I don't understand why. Well, I guess it's their platform, their whole thing. I guess they can do that. I just can't think of what in the DAW would allow it to use less DSP power. And someone told me that Luna uses your CPU or something like that. That UAD is all about DSP, but something about Luna pulls off your computer CPU or something like that. They were telling me. Anything you get will. Buck, you said anything I get will have to put 16 gigs or more. Or more. Nothing. Yeah. 2020, you can't go under 16 gigs of RAM, man. Not for doing music. Have you tried the the WA73? I've not heard it personally. I've heard was it Soundpeer? I think it had a YouTube thing on it. It didn't sound. Wait a minute. Soundpeer had a Neve shootout that they did, and you can email them and request the files. So I did that, and the WA73 was in there, the BAE was in there. I forgot what other. It was like 3 or 4 Neve clones in there. The Warm Audio one didn't sound bad, but the BAE did sound. So this is gonna sound weird. The BAE sounded I preferred the BAE, but I've been in a studio where I've used the BAE and it sounded muddy. So while the one that was in the clip from SoundPure sounded nice and clear, the one I used in the studio wasn't nice and clear. So I don't know what was going on with that. But the Warm Audio 73, it didn't sound bad to me, but it still didn't have it still lacks some of the clarity that I want to hear. Now, I will say that I have a Chameleon Lab 7603, and it's by far again, I want to use the word best. I'm going to say the one that I prefer as far as 1073 clones. You can watch my review on that, but that 7603 sounds sweet on vocals. Everything's nice and clear. It's not muddy. It's got a little bit of warmth to it. And it sounds in between of clean and color to me. Like I really love that pre on vocals. And it's not a direct, it's kind of built off the 1073, but Chameleon Labs did their own thing. There's a couple extra frequencies on there that's not on a 1073. Like it has a 3.4 hertz, a 3.4K shelf, and it's got like I think it goes up to 16K as well, where a Neve 1073 only does 12K on the top. So if you are looking for a Neve clone that's really good on vocals, I don't even want to call it a Neve clone because what I like about the 7603 is that Chameleon Labs did nothing to make it appear like it doesn't have the Neve knobs. It's not the Neve color. Like if you look at it, you couldn't tell it's a 1073 clone. The only way you can really tell is by looking at the EQ section and the frequencies that it's kind of modeled after a 1073. But definitely check out the Chameleon Labs. Where am I at? What's my have you tried one? What's my take on Warm Audio? Warm Audio stuff is okay to me. I've got their LA2A, which is okay to me. Again, only thing with their gear, I just feel like it just lacks some of the clarity. I got the LA2A. I'm not using it here since I got the Manly ELOP now, so I think I'm going to take the Warm LA2A down to the studio and track with it there. But the warm audio stuff is okay to me. For the money, it's good. I don't think it sounds like the real thing, but that's really not. That really doesn't matter to me. The question to me is, does it sound good, and can I get good results with it? And you can do that with the warm stuff. It just doesn't. It's just not gonna. It just doesn't sound like the real thing to me. I haven't heard any of their mics before, but I had the Warm Audio Pultec. I sold it and got the West Audio Pultec, which I prefer over it. Again, it's a clarity thing. I can hear more clarity through the West Audio Pultec, and the West Audio Pultec is an actual passive EQ design where the Warm Audio is not. Let's see. Yeah, UAD less DAP. Okay. Macs are around 2400 and up. Yeah, that's probably what I'm thinking about spending on the new iMac is about 2400. It just depends on. I'm trying to decide on, do I want to have them put the RAM in, or do I want to take it to a shop here and have them put the RAM in? It's just going to depend on which one will be more cost effective for me because, with the Macs now, you can't put your own RAM in it like you used to. So whichever one's more cost effective. I've got there's a little Mac shop here in Nashville that fixes Macs, and I'm sure they can. I'm not a hands-on person where I'm going to take the whole computer apart just to put some RAM in it. I'll pay someone to do that. So whatever one's more cost effective, I'm going to go with that. What kind of mics do I like using in sessions? Okay, I'll get to that. I'm about to run to the bathroom, y'all. Keep the questions coming, and I'll be right back. And I'll be right back to answer that. All right, y'all, I'm back. So I want to back before I get into the mic question. I'm going to back up to the warm audio. I will say that um, Audioscape, check them out. Audioscape.com. I checked out their lineup when I was at NAMM this year, and I was really impressed with their LA2A because so we know LA2A has a limit and compress switch on it. With the warm audio, I cannot tell a difference when I flip between compress and limit. With the Audioscape, I could clearly hear a difference going from compressed to audio. So that really impressed me, and I'm gonna look to get. I'm gonna look to pick up some Audioscape gear because that really impressed me. But back in house, you said you had a question about mics. Yeah, what kind of mics do I like to use in sessions? So I've got a lot of mics, but what I've been using the most. So I got a session Tuesday with a female vocalist. I'm gonna be bringing the Roswell Delphos and the Vanguard V4. I think it's gonna go good with her voice. So I'll speak to, I guess I'll say vocals. The Roswell mics I love. I've got the Delphos too. I've got the Colaris, which I like the Colaris on female vocals as well. I generally use the Delphos on male vocals, and I use the Colaris on female vocals. The Delphos too, it rolls off a little bit of the high end, and the Colaris is just got a big bold sound. It's got a nice high end as well. The Vanguard V4 is another one I really like, and it's really the Vanguard V4 is really versatile. I like it on acoustic guitars. I like it on vocals. It's just a great all around mic, and I don't know how they're making that for $399. Actually, let me grab it. Okay, so I'm gonna switch the screen in just a second here. Yeah. All right. Let me get my OBS up here. Okay, so this is the Vanguard V4. It comes in this nice wooden box. This is pretty crazy to me because usually you have to spend like $1,000 on a mic to get a wooden box, but this mic is. I'm not even speaking into the mic. So yeah, you normally got to spend like $1,000 to get a mic in a wooden box. It's just kind of the wooden box to me is just like a sign that you've got like a premium mic. Really nice wooden box it comes with. That's the Vanguard V4, and I use this on. I haven't used it on something that electric guitars, acoustic guitars, bass. I think the only thing I haven't used it on is drums. It's great on vocals. It's just a great all-around mic, and it's got all three polar patterns. It's got a pad. It's got a high-pass filter. It's got everything. It's got all the features for a mic. It's only $399. Like it's pretty crazy. But that's one. The Roswell Delphos 2. All the stuff from Roswell I love. I use that a lot. And those are mainly the mics I'm using right now is Roswell and the Vanguard V4. Tube mic, I've got the Law and Audio LA320, and I haven't heard anything in its price range that beats it. That's a really good tube mic. I've got a Mojave MA50 that gets used a little bit as well. But the main ones I use are Roswell and the Vanguard. I got a Mic-Tech C7 that I really like too that I just haven't used in a while. And just honestly because I don't say it's old, but it's just I've had it for a while and I've just been using newer mics that I got. Let's get back in the chat. So I found where I was. Mike, okay. You see someone say 64 RAM, 5,000. Buck, you said you got 16 gigs of RAM for 170. That's nice. I can't even remember how much I paid for my RAM, but I just remember that like Apple was charging a lot for RAM, and then I bought some third-party RAM off Newegg for a whole lot less and was able to install it myself. You're out. All right. Peace out, Buck. Appreciate you joining. Lockdown Band, you say you search. Yeah, I just searched my Studio. I guess you mean Studio One Professional, and I don't have the Brit compressor. So it's in the Fat channel, but you have. Do you have Lockdown? Do you have Sphere? Do you have PreSonus Sphere? Because if you do, you should be able to get it there. But it doesn't. The Brit comp does not come with Studio One. It is an add-on. Have you tried Press Work by Yuhi? I have not. A.T. Jones, I have not. What is that? I've heard of Yuhi. I think I'm on their mailing list. But I haven't tried Press Work. Tell me, what is that? What does that do? Cali in-house. You said Cali monitors have. Cali audio monitors. Have I ever tried it or heard it? Yeah, I actually reviewed it. Front End Audio sent me some to review, and I really liked them. You can check out my review if you Google Cali Audio. I don't know, was it LP6 and Czar? My YouTube review should come up. But it's I really like them. I'm trying to remember what I didn't like about. I think that there's like a hiss. There's like a noise floor hiss that you can hear even when you have your monitoring turned all the way down. That annoyed me. That bugged me. But that I feel weird looking over at this other screen. So hold on, y'all. I'm gonna bring the chat over in front of the camera so I can look straight. Okay, here we go. So yeah, Cali Audio, I definitely recommend them. I really like the sound of them. And I know that's their first version. And if they come out with a Mark II, it should be even better. I believe don't quote me on this, but I think the Cali Audio people used to work for JBL, I think. But yeah, they're man, they sounded good. I was for the money, I think they're like $300 for a pair, and I have not heard any monitors in that price range that I really liked. And I really like those. Like I like them enough to where I thought about getting them just as a backup pair of monitors. Because right now, I'm using the PreSonus Scepter S6s as my monitors, and those have been my main monitors for a while. But I'm saving to get the PMC Result 6s. Like I really want those PMCs. They sound incredible. But the Cali, yeah, I thought about getting those just as a backup pair because they do sound good. Especially in that price range. They actually, I'll put it like this, if with the way those sound for that price, I would like to see them make a more expensive pair of monitors and see what they can do with something that would cost more. What's we at? Search. Callium, do I like any Lewitt audio microphones? I haven't heard those. I've seen them before. I think those are the ones that are like black and green, I think. But I haven't used them before. Lockdown Band, you said no. Okay. Oh, Studio One Press. Okay, so yeah. So this with the Fat channel, you get I can't remember. You get the LA2A, you get the FET, and I think you may get the CL1B emulation. The add-on gets you a couple more compressors and EQs. But yeah, if you do PreSonus Sphere, you get all the PreSonus content, and you'll get that Brit comp. I don't know if the Brit comp sounds enough to justify getting Sphere just for that, but you do get a lot of content with PreSonus Sphere, and I'm happy that I purchased it because it's so much content and it's so worth it, in my opinion. And they've already added content to it. They released PreSonus released Deep Flight 1, last week. So, which is a Presence XT expansion pack. Presswork is a compressor plugin. Okay, I'm gonna have to. I'll check it out. I haven't seen anything or used anything from them. Um, Studio One 5 artists finally includes third-party support. Yeah, that's huge. Their new Atom SQ controller comes with 5 artists. My main question: is it possible to run 4 Pro and Artist 5 independently? That's a good question. I don't see why not. Actually, yeah, that shouldn't be a problem because I still have Studio One 4 on my computer, and that's just because, if something goes wrong with 5, or if something was terribly wrong with 5, or I have any issues in a session with 5, then I can go back to 4 and finish a project in that I need to. So yeah, that shouldn't be any problem. The Atom SQ though, I still don't really know exactly what it is. So, I know it's a controller or whatever, but I don't know. They said keyboard, but I don't see keys. I see little pads. It's not a keyboard to me, but whatever. I think I just need to watch someone use it, but right now that's not one. I don't know. Personas can miss me with that one. I'm not really excited about that. And had it been an actual MIDI keyboard, I think that would have been more interesting to me. Let me see. Yeah, they did work for JBL. Okay, yeah, I was right. Yeah, back to Cali Audio though. They do sound good. Never heard the PMCs. They're that good. The PMCs are the best. Again, I don't want to use the word best, but they're the best speakers that I've heard personally. So I know the sales manager for PMC. He brought the 226s over to my studio. The 226s are $6,000 for the pair. Okay, so they're very high end monitors, and we plugged them up. We plugged them up side by side to my PreSonus S6s. Played a couple mixes, and at first I was like, "Oh, I'm like my PreSonuses are hanging in there." This is $6,000 speakers. I'm like, mine are my S6s are hanging in there. But the deeper I listened, the PMCs were killing mine. So I was like, "Oh man!" I wasn't about to spend $6,000 on a pair of monitors, but the PMC a couple years ago came out with the Result 6s. And did I review those? I think I did review those as well. But those are, I think those are $3,000 for the pair. But they're like the 226s, but with just a little less features. So with the PMC 226s, so a lot of monitors on the back, you've got just a dial that you turn to set your volume. The cool thing about PMCs and those 226s is the volume is digitally controlled. Like there's a button to press step up and step down. And when you set those PMCs to the same volume level, they play at the same volume level. With a lot of these other monitors, if you can turn the dial to 12 o'clock on both monitors, and you still have a level difference there. And the reason the PMCs are matched, like they match their monitors. These other companies we buy monitors for, you just get the monitor in the box. You just get it when you buy 2 monitors, you just get a random 2 monitors. With the PMCs, all the components are perfectly matched to each other. So when you buy one, you get a perfectly matched speaker as well. So I found that really interesting about PMC. And even what he was telling me is if the speaker does break, if they replace a part in one speaker, they replace that same part in the other speaker because, again, both of those speakers are matched. But yeah, PMC, definitely check out the PMCs if you got the budget for for some monitors. But they sound, man, the center image and just the clarity I can hear and the depth and the stereo width was just, I haven't heard that from any other brand speakers. What model studio monitors again? Oh, the PMCs. There's the 226s, which those I get it. Those are high, but the Result 6s are the ones I'm saving for. I mean, I can do $3,000 for a pair of monitors. I just got to save for it. which is hard because I keep buying other gear. But yeah, let's see. Did I try Clark Technic audio compressors? I have not. Um, I haven't tried the Clark Technic, and I don't want to be. I want to be open ended, but they're so cheap that it makes me wonder how good they are. Is So I'd be curious to hear them. I mean, I don't know how they're making 11.76. I think their pull tech is like $300. I think. Like, how can you make a pull tech for $300? So I personally feel a lot of corners have to be cut to get it to that price. But again, it comes back to results. And really, at that price, I'm curious about build quality as well. But I am curious to hear it though. I can't pay. You can't pay. I can't pay my lord. Oh, it's your whole. You got a long screen name. Gotcha. SQ is in stock now. E Junior, yeah. My guy Ella, he just did a live where he showed off the Atom SQ. He's had his for a minute. He was beta testing it, but yeah, I just don't know. Mm, I've got to really see someone use it to make me want it. It's really weird that they didn't even really announce it, but it got announced with Studio One 5, which was just kind of weird. That I don't know. The only reason I knew about it is because I think I heard someone else say something about it, and I went on Sweetwater and saw it. But yeah, they said nothing about it during that Studio One 5 presentation. In-house, he said, "Do I recommend Auratones monitors?" So my thoughts on Auratones is, I personally don't recommend them, but again, it could work for you. But the reason I don't recommend them, I get it. Um, I get why you would use it because I know it gives you an image of I say image, but it lets you hear the mid range. It's really mid range focused. But I kind of feel like if it's just mid range focused and you're just rolling off lows and rolling off highs and you get this specific sound, I don't know. I feel like I can put an EQ curve on my um, main output and get that same sound. So I don't know. I haven't. We had one of the studios I worked out of had Auratones, but I never really used them. Now, what is cool is, was it Auratone? I think it was Auratone. I can't remember the brand, but I was at Sweetwater Gear Fest and they had it was a full speaker, but you had like your foot switch, your foot pedal. You can hit the foot pedal and it would turn those full size speakers into Auratones. And just you make me want to look those up now. That sounded really cool. But you get a full speaker, full range speaker, but you can hit the foot pedal and it would switch the speaker to just the Auratone sounds. So I thought that was cool. Let's see. Do you recommend Auratones? In-house, you say if you had millions or a couple 100,000, would buy 6,000 monitor. Yeah. When he told me how much they cost, I was like, why'd you bring those in here? you thought I had $6,000 on some speakers. But they were definitely worth it. I can't say they were not worth it. How do the PMCs compare to ATCs? I haven't heard ATCs, but I know of ATCs. They're another high-end speaker company, but I haven't heard them before. E Junior, you said Adam Square appears to be targeting the mobile producer, beat maker. Probably great if someone who has used Ableton Push, in my opinion. Yeah, I know it has integration for Ableton, but yeah, again, I really have to see someone use it, and that I haven't really tried hard, I'll say. I need to watch Elub's video because he was using it too. And I think Gregor from Presonus did a live where he was kind of using it. But I don't know. Just by looking at it, it just wasn't something that I was like, oh, I need to check this out and see what this is. Stanley said, what do I think about the iLoud MTMR? I haven't heard of those. iLoud monitors. I feel like I haven't. iLoud. Have I heard of them? I think the word iLoud is making me think of like iPhone apps or something. No, I've not heard. I've not used their monitors before. In house, you said that 10,000 microphones or that 10,000. Okay, yeah, 10,000 microphones. Sony CG. Yeah, that's. I have not used the Sony C800G, but I really want to hear Advanced Audio up in Canada has, I think they're in Vancouver. I know they're in Canada, but they make a they make their version of the C800G, and it's like $800. It's still a tube mic. It doesn't have the heat sink on the back of it, but I am curious to hear how their mic sounds. And then Golden Age recently released their version of the C800G. I think theirs is like $4,500. So it's what a little under half the price of an original Sony, but I don't know. I still wouldn't pay $4,500 on a mic. What's my take on acoustic for home studios? My take on it is that it's a must, and we're actually going to be discussing that on an upcoming episode of my podcast. I don't know when it's a topic that we've thrown out there to discuss, but I don't know when we're going to do it. But definitely, it's a must. You got to have acoustic treatment, and because even just starting with absorption, if you're in a room, a bedroom, I always say that bedrooms are not meant to be. What do I say? Bedrooms are not made to record vocals in. If you clap your hands and you just hear all that echo, that's the sound bouncing off the walls. The sound bounces off plaster. So you very 1,000% need acoustic treatment in a home studio or any studio. And it doesn't take, I know you've probably seen, if you're a handyman, you can build some. I had a person build mine here in Nashville. He builds panels, and I had mine built, custom built. But yeah, there's a lot of companies that build panels. Yeah, you definitely need panels, especially bass traps and absorption are the biggest thing. Absorption, so the sound doesn't bounce everywhere, and bass traps, of course, so the bass doesn't build up in the corners. But yeah, definitely get. My first studio I put together in Memphis, I had, I was in was it the dollar store, or I was in some store, some little thrift store, and they had these carpet patches, like 6x6, or no, maybe not 6x6, maybe like a foot by foot square carpet patches, and I bought all of them, and I put them up on the wall, and it really helped. It really helped for the sound not to bounce. It acted as an absorber. And then because I turned part of my apartment into a studio, the bedroom I was using as a booth. I put the carpet on the wall, and then the closet was one of those metal one of those metal closet doors, and you can really hear that ring, when you clap your hands. And so I just hung a blanket over that, and that helped. So yeah, anything you can do for absorption, as well as bass traps, yeah, definitely acoustic treatment. Should stay away from foam. I wouldn't say you necessarily have to stay away from foam, because it's better than nothing. I just didn't want. I had mine custom made because I didn't want the foam. I didn't want mine to kind of look like everyone else's, I guess I'll say. So I had mine custom made. But yeah, the foam is better than nothing. And now they've got, I think they're called gobos, which are like acoustic paneling on wheels. So you can move them around to where you need to. I was helping someone I met at the CD Baby conference in Austin last year. And he was kind of setting up his home space since we're all quarantined and inside, and he's not really, able to go to the studio right now. So, I was just telling him put a blanket up on the wall at least, because he was saying his girl wouldn't let him just, put the foam and panels and all that up. I told him at least just hang a blanket up on the wall, and that's going to stop some of the reflections, and that you can take down when you're not recording. So I got to check in with him and see how that's been working for him. I found the brick comp lockdown band. Yeah, the brick comp for $29.99. Yeah, I don't know how much the price is on it independently, but what sucks is that PreSonus doesn't have a trial. Like, you can't try it before you buy it, which kind of sucks. But that's a $29.99. That's not bad. I mean, you can get the Waves plugins for $30. So yeah, that's not a bad price. Get panels to make your own with Rockwool. Yeah, I don't know about all the what you need to make the panel, because like I said, I don't have the patience to make my own panels like that. iLoud MTM monitors are from IK Multimedia. Okay. I didn't know I didn't know they made monitors. I just know them as plugins. I think IK Multimedia, I think they're the ones that make the sample tank, I think. JDS Music say, what do you use for the ceilings? I wish I could see. So the ceilings, I have diffusers, which I can grab one of those. You can kind of see behind me between the picture I got up there. Those are some diffusers back there, and I got some that when I moved into this house, I just didn't put them up. But I'll grab those in just a second. But I have a panel directly above me as well that I do to stop the sound from bouncing up there. Let me grab these diffusers. So this is one of my diffusers. I have I think I got 5 of them. But these were the ones I had made, and yeah. But yeah, they work really well, and I need to, I haven't put them up, but because I've been fine with the sound in here. Like I said, I just had them kind of left over from when I bought this house and moved into here. But to answer, yeah, on the ceilings, I had the diffusers on the ceilings. The ones behind me are just up on the wall. I didn't feel a need to really hang them, but diffusers, and I don't know if I can tilt the iMac screen. I don't think it's going to tilt that far. No, it's not, to see what's directly above me. But yeah, that's what I have on the ceiling. So like the same panels I have on the left and right of me, I have one directly above me. I think they call it a cloud is the term for it. Where are we at? A.T. Jones, you say, what are my thoughts on AI machine learning being integrated into music software? So this is going to be a shameless plug, but definitely go check out my podcast, the Faders Up podcast. A couple weeks ago, I think like last month, we did an episode on artificial intelligence where we just talk about some of the artificial intelligence that's available in pro audio right now. So it was a really fun episode because it like made us do some research and got me to using some new products or trying out some new products that has AI in it. But my thoughts on it is, I think that it's cool because I am I guess I'll say kind of a tech person. So I like the innovation and I like what it's able to do. I think that's cool. I just don't think that it can replace an actual engineer. But I really see in the future, I can see AI, or I can see people doing, I'm sure they're doing it now. I don't want to say in the future. I can see them doing it now. But like the Isotope, has the track assistant. I can see people putting that on every track and calling their mix done because this AI has done it for them. And we kind of get into that in the podcast episode as well. But I don't think it's going to replace an engineer. And like what was it called? Landers, like the online mastering. So I have a mastering engineer. Shout out to D Lyles. He masters all of my mixes. And I had a master that I had from him, and I ran the mix through Landers just to hear the difference between this AI mastering and actual mastering engineer. And I do feel like my mastering engineer, I feel like I preferred that over the Landers, but the Landers wasn't trash. It's still, again, we talk back to results. You can get good results with it. And so I think it has its place, but the artificial intelligence, with what we discussed in that episode, it's going to be interesting to see 5-10 years from now really what AI is going to be able to do. And you're going to have to go listen to the episode. I don't want to give everything away, but we made some really good points in there about artificial intelligence, and that there is really more artificial intelligence going on right now than what you even really realize. I mean, technically, like Spotify, Pandora, all of that is artificial intelligence as well. Low key said, did I build a vocal booth? No. And the reason, I don't record here. I just mix here. So I have a studio that I work out of here in Nashville that me and a couple engineers work out of there. We just, we don't own the spot, but the studio owner, I got lucky and kind of got in there when no one else was using the studio, and he lets we run that studio. But I'm in Nashville, and there's so many studios in Nashville that I just don't have the need to record vocals here. Like, there's always a studio I can go into. There's 3 or 4 studios I work out of regularly that I can get into, if not my own. I called the one that's how I was working out of my own, but there's many studios in Nashville, so I didn't have a need to build a vocal booth here, so I did not do that. Or I bought the Shield. Oh, I don't know if y'all can see that in the background. Yes, you can. So, this is the RLX. I forgot the name of the product. I think I still got the box. This is the Mud Guard. The Mud Guard from RLX. I have this. They sent me. I need to review this actually because they sent it to me, but I need to review it. But I have this on here. This is where I do my YouTube videos on. I have the Shield up for that. Because I really need to review it and test it out to tell if it's making my vocals better, because I've always felt that it was kind of a gimmick. And the reason I say that is because if your mic is in cardioid and it's picking up what's in front of you, why would this help the vocal if it's not picking up what's behind it anyway? But I've had even microphone makers tell me that it does make a difference. So I really need to test it out and try it. I haven't really done that since I got it, but I keep an eye on my YouTube channel, and I'll check that out and see if it does, see how well of a difference that it makes. When I'm in the studio, I don't have the Shield for that though, because we have actual booth in the studio. A.T. Jones, he said, where can you listen to the podcast? It is available on all platforms. It's called the Faders Up Podcast, and I will actually drop a link in the chat. Spotify, Apple Podcasts, it's on all of that. And we've been podcasting for like 9 months now. I think we're on 15 episodes right now. So it's not that many episodes, but it's definitely a good. Here's a link to it. Definitely a good listen. Like, we're not. What I like about our podcast is that we're not covering like basic stuff every episode. Like, I think we've got a good amount of unique content out there for people in pro audio. So yeah, there's the link to the podcast in the chat. Y'all check it out and definitely let me know what you think. And actually, I'll say this too: our Instagram page, Faders Up Podcast, we hit 1,000 downloads a little while ago, and we're doing a giveaway with Front End Audio, where you can win a gift card. And all you have to do is like the post, follow us on Instagram. And, once you listen to a couple episodes, just let us know what your favorite, comment and let us know what your favorite episode is on the post, and you'll be entered to win the gift card from Front End Audio. Lockdown, you said I have the Waves bus compressor with the high pass filter on the Brit benefit you. Yes. Yeah, definitely the high pass filter on the Brit comp would benefit you, because, well, I don't know what type of music do you do. It just depends on. I really can't think of any genre of music. Maybe, I don't know, jazz. Maybe I wouldn't want the high pass filter on there, but anything that has a lot of bass in it is going to drive the compression, because that's the first thing. That low end has so much energy. That's the first thing the compressor is going to see, is that low end, and it's going to trigger the compression. And you just don't want, when you're on the mix bus, you want to compress the whole mix a little bit, but you don't want that low end to drive the compression. Black Ave, you said, can you use unbalanced cables to record vocals? I'm trying to hook up an outboard compressor and don't have any 1/4-inch TRS. You can technically, yes, you can. The reason that you would want balance, though, is because it's going to, balanced cables are shielded and will allow, or will not allow, like radio frequencies to get in. So you can use an unbalanced cable, but if you're getting any radio frequency or noise or anything, then that wouldn't work for you. Lockdown, you say R&B. Yeah, you definitely want that. Let me give you, let me switch back over to Studio One, and I'll show y'all a free bus compressor that I really, really like. And that is this Decam. I might be saying that wrong. Hold on. Get some of these off of here. Decam. Yeah, Decam. This is a free bus compressor. The bundle that this came in is not available anymore, but you can still get this bus compressor for free. I really like this bus compressor, and it's normally the one that I use, which is just, I don't know, I feel kind of crazy in a way because I have all of these bus compressors that I spent money on, and I keep using this free one. But it's just to show you how good it is. But there's something, wait a minute. This one does not have the high pass filter on it, but I don't know if it's the knee on this compressor. It does a great job. It gives me that glue effect that I really like. And I don't feel that with the way that it sounds and everything, I don't feel like the low end really pumps too much on it, which is good. But definitely check this one out. It's from FS Expansion, Decam free comp. Yeah, only thing is missing is that high pass filter, but I love the sound of this. Like, it really adds a nice glue. Like, the probably that first hash mark is probably 4 dB, and you don't have to go that far to get a good glued sound out of this. Let me see. Raynell, what's up? You said you forgot about that one. What, you talking about the Decam? Let me try to, working with these two screens here. Hold on, I'm trying to get y'all back on me. Okay, let me move the chat back in front of me. All right, there we go. Black Ab, yeah. Like I said, you can Black Ab, you can try it and see, and just see if you're getting any noise or anything. Um, but if it works, then it works. But you definitely want to get some balanced cables in the long run. What kind of outboard compressor are you hooking up? Raynell, yeah, decam. Yeah, that decam is sounds so good, and I don't know. It feels like maybe I should check out some more stuff from it. Like they did it with that one. I use that all the time, especially when I'm doing like just a rough mix. But when I'm doing the mix, yeah, I go through hardware. But just when I'm trying to get a rough mix down real quick, that decam free compressor helps a lot. But low key, I'm glad you mentioned about the shield. I'm gonna check. I'm gonna have to really put it to use and see what it can do here. All right. Oh man, we're about to hit 3 hours. But this is fun though. I certainly don't mind answering questions and everything. So y'all got any more? Just just drop them in the chat. If I don't see anything in a few minutes, we'll go ahead and wrap it up. Or let me see. 2 hours and 53 minutes. So I'll try to go to like for 3 hours. We'll wrap it up in like 5 minutes. The Elise is 3630, older, but still works. Hey, I got talk about old. Hold on. This is another one I got a review here. It's the I was at a studio and they just gave this to me because they don't use it anymore, and they had it in the like trash bin. I'm like, does it work? And they're like, yeah, it works. If you want it, you can have it. But it's the FMR really nice compressor. And I know this has been around for a while, but I want to do a review on it and check it out. I hooked it up for a little bit. I mean, it sounds okay, but I didn't really like put it through its full paces and everything. But yeah, it's been around for a while. But that Elisa's 3630, like I remember that. I think that's like not even a half rack compressor. I think it's like a third of a rack compressor. I know it's tiny, but yeah, again, like I've said this whole time, and it's about results. If you get good results about it, or get good results from it, man, that's all that matters. But yeah, I got to do a review on this little FMR compressor. All right, y'all got any other questions? I'll try to do this 5 more minutes. Gene, you said, would I recommend recording in a closet or using a reflection shield? But well, it's going to depend on how big the closet is. Closets like bedrooms aren't designed to record vocals in, but the good thing about a closet is that if you have clothes in it, those clothes are going to stop the sound from bouncing everywhere. I'm gonna assume that you're talking about a walk-in closet. I haven't recorded vocals in the closet. I'd have to just hear how they come out, but still, there's nothing stopping the reflections from the top of the closet. Is what I would kind of be worried about. And I generally don't like too small vocal booths because to me it just makes the vocal sound boxy when it's just in a too small of a space. So I'm leaning between those two. I'm leaning towards the reflection field, reflection shield, but still. And then I would assume that the artist would just be more comfortable if you're referring to an artist or yourself. But I would think an artist would be more comfortable out in the open. But I would still have something on the walls though. Now I wouldn't use just the reflection field is what I'm saying. And corners, stay out of corners. Corners are bad. Sound builds up in the corners. That's not a good spot. But in-house, you said, can I post a podcast again? Yeah. There it is. And Oh yeah, but the reflection field. I wouldn't use just the reflection field. So, I mean, what I would do personally if I was in a room with the reflection field, I keep saying field, reflection shield. I would have like a maybe a blanket or just something that's blocking the sound from bouncing behind you. You don't want the sound to bounce off the back wall and then come into the microphone. So yeah, I would lead towards that. Now, I haven't recorded vocals in the closet, so it's really just a trial and error thing. Gene, I would try it and just see what sound you're getting out of it. Yeah, try both of them, and just see what your or if you don't have a reflection shield yet, try the closet. If you're not liking the vocals that you're getting out of there, then then maybe try, get a reflection shield and try it. But when you're doing your vocals, you want the goal, in my opinion, in recording vocals is you want everything to be even, just an even sound. You don't want nothing that's too hyped, and make sure everything is sounding clear. Gene, you say you're gonna make some panels on mineral wool and put them in there. Yeah, see, that's the way. If you're willing to do it yourself, you can save a lot of money doing that. I'm just not a handyman and lazy. I don't want to say I'm lazy, but yeah, when it comes down to doing that, I would rather just pay someone to do it personally. What mic am I currently using, and what pre's am I running it through? And is that the Mini K? Yeah, that's the Mini K47. That's what I've been doing a lot of my YouTube videos on. Well, the videos that you see me on camera, then yeah, I'm using the Mini K47. If it's a video that you just see Studio One, then I'm using this Rode Procaster. So what mics am I currently using? So I did cover this a little earlier, but I don't mind sharing again. So right now I'm using, a lot of the mics I'm using right now is the Roswell Delphos and the Roswell Colaris. I take those to a lot of sessions, and I'll show it again. But this Vanguard V4 is a really versatile mic that I use a lot as well. And again, this V4 is only $399. I feel kind of a certain way sometimes because I'm so used to using these expensive or more expensive microphones, and I always, a lot of times, go back to this one. Like, this is a really good, versatile microphone. But the Roswell stuff, I use a lot of their stuff a lot too. I love their mics. Those are the main mics I'm using, the Roswell and the Vanguard V4. That's kind of what's in my rotation right now when it comes to recording vocals. I've got a Laudon Audio LA320, I got a Mojave MA50, and I got a Mic Tech C7, which all of those I really like, but they're just, the Roswell stuff I got more recently, the Vanguard I got more recently. I've just been using them because it's what I bought more recently. I need to circle around and using those again more, but yeah, those are the mics I'm using. You say, and the preamps I'm using right now, the Chameleon Lab 7603. I talked about that one a little while ago. I really love that on vocals. In the 500 series, the Chandler Little Devil Pre, the Rupert Nee 511, and what am I missing? The Empirical Labs Mikey. Those are the ones that I use on vocals. Right now, the Chameleon Labs I probably use the most, and if I grab my lunchbox, it's the Little Devil Pre or the 511 are the ones I'm using the most in there. And I'm thinking, this is where I feel like I got a gear problem, because I'm thinking about getting the Phoenix Audio Ascent EQ channel strip, but I kind of can't justify. I can't really justify it. I just want it. So, and I just got the Tone Lux 500 series pre. I picked that up for a couple $100 on Craigslist. Somebody was selling one. I'm going to take it to the studio and try it on vocals and see what it can do. And I'll be doing a review on that. And I've got a Mic Tech MPA 201 pre that I haven't really used. I'm going to use that Tuesday as well on vocals and see how that sounds. But Yeah, my main one I'm going to right now for vocals is the Chameleon Lab 7603. Well, from female vocals, let me point that out. For rap vocals, yeah, the Knee 511 or the Little Devil Pre, as well as a Mikey. Um, Buck, you say you've tried the closet compared to living room and closet best for my setup. Yeah, it depends. Again, it's all about results. What's going to give you the best results? And see, your living room, you probably got sound bouncing around everywhere there because it's more open space. But I don't know. Just thinking about it, I don't know. Y'all make me want to go stick a mic in the closet and hear how it sounds. I'm just curious what that would sound like. What do I normally use the Mini K outside of YouTube videos? Electric guitar, and I also like it on acoustic guitar. And what did I use it on? Was it snare drum? I may have used it once or twice on snare drum, but the Mini K47, I really like it on guitars. And I also have the Mini K87 in here as well. It's more cleaner than the 47. The 47 is a little warmer, but the Mini K87, it works on the same things that the 47 works on for me. It just gives me a little different sound, a little cleaner sound. For the Mini K87, I've used on vocals and acoustic guitar before. Electric guitar, I mean, it works. I'd probably prefer the 47 on electric guitar. Just for that, the 47 has that little low mid bump on it that I really like. That's what I've been using that on. Looking into some Roswell products. Love the Mini K47, especially on drum overheads. Yeah, I haven't used the 47 on drum overheads because I only have one. The Mini K87, I've got a pair, and I have used that on drum overheads. And I'm supposed to be. I have the Mini K87s because I'm reviewing them, but the whole COVID hit, and I just haven't been able to finish my review on it. I've got the vocals. I think I got bass. I think I got electric guitar, which all this time I'll probably retrack it now anyway. But I really wanted to use the Mini K87 on piano, and I had the session set up for me to go to the studio and record a piano, but COVID hit and kind of shut everything down. So like my review on the Mini K87 has been delayed. We'll just say that. And I'm also going to do a video comparing the Mini K47 to the Mini K87 once. That'll be coming once I'm able to get in the studio and knock some stuff out with that. But those Roswell, both of the Mini K87 and 47, they're both really good microphones. I don't like using, not that I don't like using them for vocals. I just feel weird using them for vocals because they're so small. And I just feel weird putting a mic that small in front of a vocalist. But no one has ever complained. But and I will say that Roswell has they have a package now where you can get the Mini K47 and the Mini K87 all in one package. So you get two mics in the bundle. So that's kind of cool. Buck, you said it's easier for you to clean up that background noise in the closet recording vocals. I can see that as well. In-house, the LA610, have I ever used it on vocals? Yeah, and I didn't like it. Now it wasn't, well, you said the LA610, so I haven't technically used the LA610, but I used I think it's called the 610 Solo. I don't even know if UA still makes them, but it's just a desktop preamp, which I believe is the same pre that's in the LA610, if I'm not mistaken. And it was too dark for me. I don't like, a lot of vocals I record, I don't want them dark, so I wasn't a fan of that pre. Now, actually, for this song we just mixed here, it might have worked for that because this isn't a bright song at all. But generally, I wasn't a fan of that. Been thinking about the Mini K87. Have I compared it with a regular 87? So the Mini K87, it's not I haven't compared it to a 80. When you say 87, I'm assuming you're talking about a U87. I haven't compared it to that, and it's really not made to be compared to that. The 87, the term 87 is in there because it refers to the capsule. It uses a K87 capsule, and the 47 uses the 47 capsule. But it's not meant to sound like a U47 or a U87. So I haven't compared those. Those would be two. I mean, I would say those would be very different because also the 87, drawing a blank. I think they're both transformerless, if I'm not mistaken. And actually, I'm not sure. I don't think the U87 is a transformerless design, but no, I haven't compared those two. I haven't used the U87 in a while. And I've worked out of a studio a lot that has one. The U87 is a great mic. I just don't like using what everyone else is using. The whole, everyone's using a 1073 into a LA2A or 1176 with a U87 mic. It's like the same vocal chain everywhere. I don't want to be like that. So I like to use different stuff. And when doing the vocal recording in the closet. Okay, Buck, what do you say here? So he said when doing the vocal recording in the closet, still makes sure to have something to block the reflection. Yeah, definitely. I have cases of water boxes, so it really studio. Okay, yeah, I would kind of be worried about the top of what's above you with sound bouncing off there. But yeah, like I said, you get good results, man. That's all that matters. If I get a chance, try out the Mini K47 on drum overheads. I would need two to try them out on drum overheads, though. That's the only thing. Probably my favorite for overheads right now, a full sound on drum kit. I can see it working. I mean, those 47s are great little mics. Yeah, U87. Yeah, no, I haven't compared those two. I wouldn't even. I mean, I feel like those are two such different ballparks there with those two mics. I thought it was meant to spin off the U87. Yeah, they're not. So yeah, the 87 and 47 just refers to the capsule, the capsule design inside. All right, y'all got anything else? I'm gonna have to get off here soon to get me something to eat. And I may set up this. Like I said, this was fun. So I may set up some lives where we just sit and chat. Like, I don't mind. That'll be fun. Yeah, if I get a week where I don't have anything to mix, then maybe we can just do just a Q&A and just chat about some stuff, man. All right. Well, I'm gonna wrap this up, man. Appreciate the questions. Stay well blessed. Appreciate that, Buck. Yes, I'm gonna be back in 2 weeks. Like again, I try to do this every other weekend, and we may have an R&B session next time. I'm trying to decide. I'm trying to decide what I want to do next. I got one session I kind of want to do, but I don't know what genre it is because she has such a unique sound, and I'm like, it's not R&B, it's not pop. It's like, I don't know. I'll have to, because y'all notice in the description I put what genre it is. But yes, I'll be back in a couple weeks with another session, and I don't know, maybe in the meantime, if y'all want to see it, just drop in the comments. Let me know, and we'll we can just chat, man. It's all good. But again, man, y'all check out the podcast. Let me know what you think, and enter the giveaway. I don't think anybody's. I just posted it yesterday, man. I don't think anybody's entered yet. I got to check. And again, if you want me to mix one of your sessions, give me. You can send it to me. I'm gonna have my email in the description of the video here, and I'll mix one of your songs here on YouTube. Like I said, just no long. I'm not doing like 30, 40 tracks, anything like that. And I want something I can, knock out in like 2 hours. All right. Appreciate y'all for tuning in, and I'll catch y'all in a few weeks.